Hello and welcome to 5-Minute Math. Today we are looking at the 4th grade concept of types of triangles. This is standard 4.6C in the great state of Texas, and we are using item number 29 off the 2017 released STAAR test. If you have not done so already, please go ahead and take a moment to pause the video, work this problem out on your own, unpause it, and then we will look at our answers together. So we have a triangle that has one 90-degree angle and two acute angles. So we can even draw that triangle if we wanted to, or we can draw something that we think might look like that triangle. So it's going to have one right angle, and then these two are going to be acute angles. I'm just going to put acute simply because they are smaller than 90 degrees. And so let's step back just a moment and let's make sure that we understand what are three types of triangles that it could possibly be: acute, right, and obtuse. Let's make sure we understand what those are. But everything starts right here with that right angle. So this is what we call a right angle. You can also call it by its measure. So when we measure it with a protractor, it is a 90-degree angle. And sometimes I just like to call it a square corner because it tells you exactly what we're looking at. This right here could be the corner of a square, and they'll even sometimes put a little square inside the angle to show you that it is a right angle or a 90-degree angle. Everything we do with angles and triangles that are described by their angles has to start with this right angle. Because if you have acute angles like this right here, acute angles are less than 90. So less than 90. That's it. We either have angles that are 90 degrees exactly. We have angles that are acute that are less than 90 or less than a right angle. And then these obtuse are going to be larger than a 90. So let's take a look how we can use those angle descriptions to actually name three different types of triangles, because we've got to look at right. They actually list right twice, acute, and obtuse. So these are our triangles that we're going to list at the bottom. So an acute triangle has three acute angles. So remember, acute here is less than 90. So there are many different acute triangles. I can draw something that looks kind of like this. I can draw something a little bit skinnier like this. Doesn't really quite matter. It's just we've got three different angles that are less than 90 degrees. And that's what this is incorrect because there are two acute angles. Well, remember, acute triangles have three acute angles, and we already drew what we needed. We drew this triangle. That's actually the triangle we're looking at. And this particular angle is not acute. This is right. So it is not going to be an acute triangle. Let's try a right triangle. A right triangle has one right angle, and then the other have to be two acute. You cannot put two right angles into a triangle. If you do, it's not a triangle anymore. It's at least a quadrilateral. And you have to have one right, and you can't have an obtuse in there. It has to be like a right angle, kind of basically like what we drew like that. We can even make it kind of rotate this way. But these, you can even make one side really long, the other side really short, but as long as you get that little right angle in there, and that looks very similar to what we did. Right triangle, because all three angles are 90. No, only one of them can be 90. Right triangle because there is one 90-degree angle. That's looking pretty good. The obtuse has one obtuse and then two acute. And so we're looking at something that's kind of big and fat. Remember, acute angles are larger than 90, something like that. But our largest angle is not obtuse. It is right. So our answer here is A.